All right, gang, welcome in. Coach Pumped to have you. We're going to talk all baseball in this one. We're going to take a look back to spring training. So, now we're down to 4 teams, and pretty much everybody and their brother is going to know, or act like they knew at least one of them was going to be there, right? So, we've got the Dodgers and the Brewers on the one side, with the Dodgers up 2, right? They stole 2 on the road to open the series, and then the Mariners are up 2-0 on the Blue Jays. So let's take a look. These were so first off, the contenders. This is who they were selling you like this is who you should really be fearing. The Dodgers, coach wouldn't have bucked at that. The Yankees, I would say they didn't have a shot in the World Series, but I would have given them at least to the ALCS, not at least, but I would have given them up to the ALCS, right, to lose. And then the Braves, coach wanted nothing to do with pretty much. Phillies, I would have kept them in there, right? There's enough going on with Philly. The Mets, sure. The Orioles, what the fuck? And the Astros, no. So that's where Coach would have felt about that. We would have had a much shorter list there. Outside shot Red Sox, they would have been in the no chance in fucking hell category for the next 60 years. Okay, so absolutely we would not have had them at outside shot. We don't want to go that far down. Padres, coach would have said sure, just because they've been cursed so long. Maybe they're doing something ridiculous with them, but not very likely. Mariners, coach wasn't hot on them at the time, but obviously they should be up in the contenders, right? They're in the Final Four, so they should have been at outside shot. They should have been in the contenders. Rangers, coach would have wanted nothing to do with. Diamondbacks, same deal. Cubs, same deal. Tigers, we would have had as contender because we've got the Lions winning the Super Bowl. We wouldn't have been blown away if somehow they did it. Right next to Guardians, who we also had in contenders, right? That was our World Series favorite because coach is an idiot and didn't realize they need to change their stupid fucking name back for whatever god-awful reason. And the Twins, coach would have said Minnesota. What the fuck are we talking about here? Okay, so that's where we're at up to outside shot. Okay, so coach's winner was an outside shot. So it would have been really nice to get that the bottom of the outside shots. Oh boy, would that have paid good, right? Well, let's keep going. Long shots. Oh, who's that? The Brewers? Coach took a lot of action on them too. So yes, there's even more potential coming back for the Brewers than if the Guardians were to do it. And the Brewers, actually, I guess it would be about the same because coach was taking the Brewers to win the pennant, not win the World Series. So I guess I'm sure they weren't giving you plus 4,000 to win the pennant. So I guess the Brewers actually slightly less, but still pretty. I mean, they're telling you it was a long shot, right? And here we are. So the Brewers, long shot, right? Only one step above prey. So they had them in the same category as the Rays. Nope. Blue Jays, yeah, who's right there? But that should put into perspective for you. The Mariners should absolutely be crushing the Blue Jays right now as they are, right? So at the top, contenders, Dodgers, and outside shot Mariners. So the long shot Brewers are taking on the contender Dodgers, World Series favorite, right? And they've dropped the first 2 games. They're in dire straits, most would say. Coach says they lose the next one, then reverse sweep, right? And then outside shot, one of the top of the outside shots. You could have pretty much said bottom of contenders. We've got the Mariners taking out the long shot Blue Jays, right? And just for fun, we'll take a look down if anything sticks out. Coach says the prey is about right. Coach wouldn't have been hot on any of those teams. But yeah, so that's where we're at. We got a long shot and an outside shot. We got 2 long shots taking on an outside shot and a contender respectively. So we need the Brewers to not only come back in what would be tough to do against anybody, but we need to do it against the team they're all telling you was the 3 times more likely to win the World Series than the fucking Yankees this year, right? That's what we're dealing with. And coach says that they're the new Yankees. Well, that's the type of stuff we want to see. We want them at the very top. Of course, they won the World Series. It's not surprising, so that's where we're at. Coach says, obviously we're going to be sweating it, but he really feels good about this. I'd be very surprised if somehow it's like the Dodgers and the Blue Jays. It just doesn't read. It doesn't compute, right? If they want to pull that, that's cool. But they got something really fucking dope if they're waiting to do the Seattle World Series way down the line, what are we gonna fucking do, right? It'd be odd that they're not doing it right here, right now, when it's so close, right? And as far as Coach, Coach had the Brewers losing the World Series the full way, but we waited until the ALCS-ish, right, before it started, right, before the ALCS started to take the Mariners, right, because we didn't really know, like, the Seattle connections. But Coach is saying baseball used to be like that. They used to just have, like, one series apiece. It would be like the ALCS and the NLCS, and the winner of those teams go to the World Series, and that's that. So Coach isn't overly bummed. It took him that long to sniff out the Mariners, especially when